The phrase I often use is inch wide, mile deep. We picked a very specific audience, very niche. The irony was we actually focused on a sport, and the sport was road cycling. Ironically, I'm not much of a cyclist on the road. I've had bad luck out there. I've been put in the hospital too many times. Michael's a good cyclist, but we picked it more because we could target that group. We knew where to find them. We knew how to talk to them. We knew they love data. Cyclists, by definition, are in love with their data, whether it's watts, speed, elevation, distance, time. All those things were important. So we knew we could do something with that information. And you're right, we took a risk because it looked niche. And what I often tell entrepreneurs is don't confuse a go-to-market strategy with a vision. Our vision for Strava was supporting a global community of athletes across lots of different activities, but we had to start somewhere. And so we picked that roadie. I think I've joked at times, it was a mammal, MAMIL, middle-aged man in Lycra. But in doing that, we could really understand what their experience was, what they were trying to do when they were out on their bike, what they were trying to accomplish, what was important to them when their rides. We began to build that into the Strava experience. 2 examples. One was segments. Where did segments come from? Segments came because cyclists told us over and over that anytime they go for a ride, there was usually some climb in the middle of that ride that was the most important part of their ride. Didn't matter whether it was a 100-mile ride or a 5-mile ride. There was usually some little grade that this is where I'm going to push it. And so they wanted to know how they were doing on that. And we said, we can identify that. We can show you that segment. And then the second thing we learned was people wanted to understand how their friends were doing on that same segment. And so from that, we began to develop leaderboards and different ways to compete on segments and compare performances. And just that little nuance and being able to build that into the experience, that's then what started to create community, because now your friend was really motivated to invite their other friend on so they could begin to compare against one another.